Star-Spangled something, something, who knows? Okay. Slightly refreshed. More coffee. I don't know why I'm speaking in accents already. At least they're generic, inoffensive accents. Nobody's in the chat yet, so I'm just sitting here talking to myself like a crazy person. You're already in costume. All right, let's do this. Or not.
You're already in character. I should have done that. Costume. Let's see.
It's not about behavior, it's about...
Number 4, this is going to be impressive. Yeah, I think it's... Actually, I'm curious how much editing it is so far. YouTube... I think we're at 10 hours, and I'm not yet a third of the way through. 3.5, 3, 6.5. Yeah, we're over 10 hours already. Huzzah! Well, I knew it was going to be a big one, and I want to do it right. So here we are. Once again, your work is inspiring, and your will to share with people what meaningful entertainment means is admirable. Keep up the good work. Can't wait for season 5. Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get to grinding again. We're almost to 10 minutes. We're almost a third of the way there. Can't believe this one's going to be a half hour. Like something you are not.
You're already in character.
Someone grammar check me. Is it bracket colon? Is that right, or is it colon bracket? Bracket colon. And it is about hiding, right? So that's apostrophe. I apostrophized correctly. Robot frowny face. Hi, Lauren. Bracket colon unless the entire sentence is in bracket. Square deal. Acting is not about behavior. It's about hiding.
Let's see.
It's not about behavior, it's about...
Acting is not about... That should be easier.
Let's see.
Giles.
About
Actually, so it'd probably be easier to read if we have a sentence for one line and then a sentence for another. Season 5 is my favorite, and this episode is in my top 5. Such a way to lead into it. Buffy has a show flexing its muscles. I concur. So we actually want to center this. Giles in the background. Acting is not about behavior, it's about hiding. So let's see if we can bring his volume up.
It's about hiding.
There we go. No, I have a translation for Giles.
Let's see.
It's not about behavior, it's about hiding.
It's actually, I was hoping there was something like really interesting about it, but really what it is just Xander messing with himself even more. Sequence, render selection. I definitely needed that little break. Tied to Willow's perspective. We'll see if I do a stream after dinner. Something I really want to finish this one by Friday. Whedon acknowledges in the episode's commentary track. Willow wanders backstage during the first performance of a play that she is a part of. This is the second time Willow's dreams have been about drama. But this time, the use of it has a different slant. Where Nightmares was more about general stage fright, the use of it here is centered on the idea of acting like something you are not.
You're already in character. I should have done that. Costume.
Acting is not about behavior, it's about hiding.
Tara's comment about people finding out... Let's let that run for an extra second. That's really quick. Unlink. Acting is not about behavior, it's about hiding. What do you think of my post-British accent? I'm making fun of me, not British people. For all of the Brits out there. This is going to be the best review of them, all I can tell. So many themes to dig into, and you always get to the bottom of them all. Great work. Thank you, Luke. Out about... So we let that one.
Behavior, it's about hiding.
Tara's comment about people finding out about her led... Firefly science fiction. About people finding out about her led us to believe this may all be about Willow's sexuality. But a man. A salesman. Open in source monitor.
You don't know everything about me.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait. It's going to be fun to talk about. I've been reading a bunch of stuff on it to bone up, and I think it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's going to be fun for me, and that's all I'm interested in. Sexuality, but Willow is already out with her friends, so the notion... Willow is already out with her friends. It's complicated because of Oz. You make the process look so easy when I'm watching your videos. Then I watch this and I think there's no way I can do what you do, not without putting in a lot of time and effort to learn it. Well, I mean, the thing about editing is... hang on, let me find this cut. There it is. Hold on.
Are you freaked? What? No, Will.
The thing about editing is you're doing the same... Mostly you're doing the same 3 or 4 things over and over and over again, and then it's just kind of technique. I mean, there are a billion tools in Premiere that I actually never touch. And I think that most editors, like Vegas and all of that have a similar kind of editing style are the same, you know. Here we'll run through the decisions that account for every single cut. So I drag the playhead around. Willow's sexuality, but Willow is already out with her friends. So the notion that she's hiding implies there is some other insecurity going on. She's hiding. Actually, that cut needs to be shorter. So hold on. I lied. I lied to you. I apologize. I want this to be an honest relationship we have between us. Sexuality, but Willow is already out with her friends. Okay, so I know where the next cut is. This is the playhead, and this is these are all the decisions I've made so far. So the notion that she's hiding implies there's some other insecurity going on here. So I always kind of listen in the sentence for where the cut would be. There's kind of definitely a music to editing. So the notion that she's hiding implies there's some other insecurity going on here. I mean, that one's pretty straightforward. Longer sentences, you find the cut. So the notion that she's hiding implies there's some other insecurity going on here. So now we go find the cut for that. So here's all of the copies of my episodes. I'm going to go open up Restless. That's the wrong one. There's actually a technical glitch with this one, kind of undermining what I said about Super Easy, but open in the source monitor. So the notion that she's hiding implies there's something else going on. So we need a visual for that. And I don't have a clear one. Probably when Buffy walks away from her. I got to be cowboy guy. So her confusion right there is probably the out of the shot. So I'm going to hit O on the keyboard. That creates the end of the clip I'm creating. And then I want when Buffy turns to be the beginning. So I hit I for in. And you can see I've created a clip from this whole episode. Now I drag that down to the timeline. And there we go. Now it's a little too short. First of all, I'm going to lower the volume down. This is the volume right there. So I'm going to grab the edge of it and just put it out to the where I know the end of that sentence is. And now let's see how it looks. Well, for some reason I lost my visual. Why did I lose my visual? Premiere is making a liar out of me. Why did I lose my visual? Hold on. If I had to guess, I would say Premiere just glitched out. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. I jinxed you, it's all my fault. No, Premiere's buggy. That or I hit a key I wasn't supposed to. There we go. Okay, it's back. So now, pretending that that didn't happen, let's take a look at our edit. I believe this may all be about Willow's sexuality, but Willow is already out with her friends. So the notion that she's... Okay, this is... I'm being a terrible instructor, and I've done that before. Adjustment layer, set to frame size, friends. So the notion that she's hiding implies there is some other insecurity going on here. That works. The notion that she's hiding implies there is some other... Wasn't very clean, but it works. But that's, I mean, just as an example, that's editing. Now you find the next one. The symbols in this scene are a little more ambiguous. There's the cut. So I'd probably go back to a wide shot of the audience, or rather the troop, and I keep doing this. So open in source monitor. Symbols in this scene are a little more ambiguous. So there we go. We'll use that. Okay. I hit in, I hit out, there's my clip, drag and drop. This one's a little bit longer than that sentence, so I'm going to bring the end of it over so it now lines up, and the cut will occur with the beats of what I'm reading. And then you do that for 20 hours, and this video will be done. How many hours a day do you edit? Sorry, I meant how many years a day do you edit? I never understood how much work went into these videos. Much respect. I mean, for me, the biggest editing is just one foot in front of the other. And in every video, there are certain sequences that I'm looking forward to editing. And they're the more creative ones. In the 5x5 video, when Angel pushes Faith out the window and they're falling in slow motion and the mayor's speech comes up, is like not necessarily an instructional or constructive bit from the piece, but it was very creative and set a tone for the video, and I was really excited about doing that. But that was 13 minutes into that piece. This one has the same. You know, it's building a wall from pebbles. But that's partially why I invite you guys in to watch along with me, because it's nice to chitty chat and not just sit here and go, I'm going to play a game of Hearthstone real quick. But editing is anywhere from 8 hours on the low end to I've edited one video for 40 hours before. This one will probably be 25 or 30. And then the writing process on top of that was another 20 to 40 hours. What problems do you have with season 7 of Buffy? Long list and long conversation. Eventually there will be videos. But if we do a stream to celebrate the end of this season, then it'll just be me on camera talking to you guys and maybe watching stuff that we enjoyed from the last season of the episode guide, then we can talk about that. Oh, wallpaper. Yeah. Yeah. I have a nice site that I steal stuff from. Not steal. It's a good website for desktop images. Interface lift. And this is a weird monitor. It's 3840 by 1080 or something like that. So this is a wonderful site for images. I actually watched The Body for the first time a couple of days ago. As a 19-year-old Brit, it was never massive in my area, and wow, what a sucker punch. Incredible episode. Agreed. And I've done a video for that, What the Body Means to Me, which is, again, like, I think we all filter that episode through the lens of our personal experience. It's on the channel. It's a cry fest. Not on purpose. I just was like... I did a stream where we watched the episode because I didn't want to watch it alone during my rewatch, and then read something. Save. This may all be about Willow's sexuality, but Willow is already out with her friends, so the notion that she's hiding implies there is some other insecurity going on here. The symbols in this scene are a little more ambiguous. The play is supposedly Death of a Salesman. Go to a wide shot.
That you, you hold them.
The pitter-patter of 2-year-old feet. Set to frame size. Ambiguous. The play is supposedly Death of a Salesman, loosely about the death of a man's spirit and hope, who then kills himself. Nah, I kind of want to... Like, I was thinking of a fun edit, but it's kind of a cheat. I think I'm going to try it. I'll throw this one out to the group. This is the... Remember, by the way, anyone watching, I'm doing the spoiler version of this video, so all bets are off. If you have not watched the whole series, this is... You don't want to watch this stream.
I loved him so much.
I can't listen to it. It's going to make me cry. There we go. Some other insecurity going on here. The symbols in this scene are a little more ambiguous. The play is supposedly Death of a Salesman, loosely about the... Keep forgetting to do that. Is supposedly Death of a Salesman, loosely about the death of a man's spirit and hope, who then kills himself. Supposedly Death of a Salesman, loosely about the death of a man's spirit and hope, who then kills himself. Whedon has said that all of the outfits represent exaggerated gender roles. How much did Whedon Company and plan did they write seasons 5, 6, and 7 around Restless? Well, that's something I addressed in the introduction to this video, which is that, I don't know, and it doesn't really bother me one way or another. Buffy is complete, so you know, the connections that are sort of in between don't negate the fun or the value of the foreshadowing to me. It's a relevant question, but it's really just not where I'm aiming with this video. This video is sort of like, let's look at everything that could possibly be there. That's why I avoid author intent. Or try to, except for rare occasions. I think the gift was definitely intended, but the degree to which the gift is foreshadowed, or rather the foreshadowing to the gift is definitely intended. 730, and then most of the stuff in Buffy's dream that includes faith. What did I do here? Oh, I see what I did. Boop. And loosely about the... Oh, that, yeah. Delete that. Set to frame size. Boris, you like faith? I feel like that's the first time I'm hearing of that.
For you. Hello. Hello, little lady. Can I hold those milk pails for you?
The death of a man's spirit and hope, who then kills himself. Whedon has said that all of the outfits represent exaggerated gender roles and how dumb they are. So Harmony as the milkmaid... because I included a weird musical sting. About the death of a man's spirit and hope, who then kills himself. Whedon has said that... Oh, volume. That all of the outfits represent Yeah, I've always felt that way. They do feel like very different shows.
Better part. I'm Cowboy Guy.
Snake Doctor. I mod games and have sat for hours with my favorite games, modding them to infinity, and it's often tedious. What you're doing requires a level of patience and professionalism I can only applaud. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you for the donation. I live off these now, so it's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Kind of have to get lost into every single decision. If you think about the whole journey or the whole edit, you're going to get stuck.
For you?
A cowboy, etc. I get it. It's about the journey, isn't it? I've read some of the Buffy comics. I read all of Tales of the Slayer, and I've made several passes at Season 8, but just have not gotten hooked by it. I've heard Season 8 isn't even particularly great. It's the later ones that are really good, and the reason to keep reading. And, hey, as a Buffy fan, I can respect that. Exaggerated gender roles and how dumb they are. So Harmony as the milkmaid.
Hello, little lady. Can I hold those milk pails for you?
A cowboy, etc. So, so what is Freud? Oh, he's holding milk. Of course he's holding milk. What else would he be holding? So where's my Freud folder? Whoa! Holy, muggles are cool too. In earshot, when Willow is talking to Jonathan, is she talking about that Jonathan wants to be noticed, or is she talking about herself? Thoughts? Well, first of all, I appreciate the donation. Thank you. Cheers. I actually have a weird theory about that one. People's common complaints with that episode have to do with the ending and Jonathan holding the rifle that's way too big. It's as tall as he is. Seems radically different than he was before. It's kind of a bait and switch for the school shooting bit. And the more I watched it, the more I was like, and that scene is interesting and unique. The way she's speaking to him, the way she's the way she's speaking. And so my theory is that Willow is actually influencing Jonathan to attempt suicide at the end of the episode. Earlier, Buffy is listening to all the thoughts, and she hears the thoughts in his head, and it's very calm, and there's nothing going on, and he goes, oh, she touched me, and are you going to have the food? And then Willow steps in, who has been practicing magic that can be cast or influenced without actually speaking spells. And she's sort of dabbling and not quite aware of what she's doing yet. And her interrogation style, she says, sometimes you have to make people notice. Don't they, Jonathan? And my theory or headcanon for that episode is she accidentally caused Jonathan to attempt suicide the next morning, which explains the poor choice of suicide weapon, the why he's like sweaty and afraid, probably because he doesn't really want to do it. It's kind of a mind control thing, maybe. It explains all of the flaws of that little bit, why it happened to coincidentally occur when Buffy heard the murderer, because their search for the murderer actually created Jonathan's suicide attempt. So I don't read that scene as Willow talking about herself, but I do have that is my interpretation of that scene, and I feel like that kind of cures some of the ills for that episode. But again, I appreciate the donation. Thank you. Thing is, it could be read as Willow talking about herself. Their insecurities they do share, similar, pathologies when it comes to their feelings about themselves and what other people think of them. Okay, I want to select these two tracks. So, okay. Sometimes I have to think it through. So now we're going to... Yay! I solved a thing. Oh, no, I didn't. Why is that happening? Oh, these are linked. Oh, I'm stupid. Wait, so now we go back to this, and then do that, and then do that. Perfect.
Can I hold those milk pails for you?
Okay, where is my Deadpan Freud folder? Assad's animations, commentary tracks... common B-roll, unimpressed Freud. There we go. Right now he's called Orgasm Freud. You don't have, Boris, you don't have to explain stuff ahead of me explaining them. If I'm answering a question, we're good to go, man. Comic book. Oh, we don't have the comic book font installed. Font. Da font. Download. Extract all. Boy, do I need to clean up my downloads folder. Install. It's just the steps to have it because sometimes you miss questions. I appreciate it, man. So we want to, first of all, she's petting Tara's kitten. Oh, I had forgotten about that joke. What do you think seasons 1 through 4 look like retroactively with Dawn in them? That's an interesting question. And I think they have a couple of hints, or they have a couple of mentions of that previously. That is so weird and disturbing. Hold on, the Deadpan Freud stuff takes me a little bit to get through. Why does he have wine lips in this? Why didn't I remove his wine lips? Let's jettison some of this. We're going to get rid of the wine glass. We might be able to make use of the fingers. I don't know what that is. Is that what... Why is that a layer? Okay, that's the lead. There's the cat. Okay, so now we need a milk jug. Milk carton. Oh, no. He did have fruit punch mouth. Probably no wine until tomorrow. There's way too much editing to do. Milk carton. There we go. Just to try and err on the right side here. More tools, usage rights. Be right back with you guys. Hold on one sec. I think I have an Adobe stock account. If I had any artistic ability whatsoever, I could just draw a milk jug. This should do. The deadpan Freud stuff always takes forever, but I enjoy it. So this is going to be a bit. And we need to give him a milk mustache. Yeah. Hopefully not Queen. So let's zoom in. Oh, hold on. Let's go get our jug. And that is in the Buffy Restless B-roll jug. Already kind of disturbing. No, I have not had milk yet. So far, I think there were donuts, a cat, and wine. Can we just... This is where everyone discovers my Photoshop foo is terrible. Let's zoom in slightly. Let's remove the fingers. Used to what did they do with the focus area subject? Transform selection? No. There's nothing uncool about healthy teeth and bones. Edit in quick mass mode. Oh, interesting. That's probably what we'll end up doing. So we'll go back to this. Going to the Buffy reunion at Wizard World in Portland. Awesome! I wish I was going. Did Spike actually know he was going to get his soul restored in the cave, or did Legends simply say he would be restored and thought it would lead to... I think he knew. It's something that annoys me about that sequence, actually, the bait and switch. There's no reason he would be behaving the way that he was. I don't think. But I'm not a writer, so we'll deal with that scene as itself when we get there. Okay, so go to... I don't know what I'm doing. It's always like, how do I use Photoshop again? There's 12-year-olds making memes on the internet that know how to use Photoshop better than I do. Let's try this. Can I just do this? No, we don't want to do that. Delete vector mask. stirring. All right, forget it. We're going to do it manual. Ah, I see what I'm doing wrong. I'm using a vector mask. This is the layer mask. So when we go from here, either make the white transparent to use as the lasso tool to make a mask. That's what I'm trying to do. It's just I touch Photoshop. When was the last time I did a deadpan Freud? So now we go over here and then why can't I fill that layer? You know, can we just do this? Smart. Oh, duh. Smart objects are great. Where's my rasterize? There we go. Forget it. We'll do it the slow old man way. Okay. Now I kind of wish it was still a smart object. Zoom out. Size. Minimize you. Just want to clean all those edges up. I know anyone who's watching this that knows how to Photoshop. I know it hurts. I feel your pain. I think maybe one of the things about Deadpan Freud is how janky it is. But that's also probably me just making myself feel better. It adds to the charm. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. Jankiness is charming. That's what people say about me. Boom. Roasted me. Oh, that looks terrible. I may as well have used MS Paint. That's okay. Why would I make the milk green? Oh. Yeah, but problem there is I don't really care about Star Wars. Star Wars died for me a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hi, Calvin. Ugh. Well, his fingers are going to be over that anyway. Okay, so now we need to add some transparency to the jug. That's something a little bit different than just opacity, but I suppose we can start there. So, opacity. This should remain solid. Like, it seems like we want just the flat sides to be opaque. Let's add the fingers back in. It already looks kind of okay. In a not very good kind of way, but that's okay. God, his fingers are terrible. Let's do this. Let's cut the top off the bottle. Because it looks like it's full of, like, glowy stuff right now. Seamless cut, as always. Anyone who's looking to hire a graphic designer, you know where to find me. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Because the target channel is hidden. Say what? Oh. What? I'm so sorry, anyone who knows how to use Photoshop. I'm sorry. Okay? Delete layer mask. I didn't flounder this much the last time. Channels. Oh, delete channel. Sweet Mary. What are we looking at here? Channels. Oh, we have a channel for lips. Oh, I saved some selections. I'm stupid. Okay, RGB. Good night, Ava. All words are made up. Still not entirely sure. Oh, because the lips are selected? Yes. Do you think it's better to subvert tropes or to play them straight? It depends on your intentions. I don't think that subverting tropes is necessarily a key to success. Certainly Buffy does a lot of it, but if we didn't care about the characters or... hold on. Ugh, wow, I really borked his fingers that last time. If we didn't care about the show, it's like the number one priority, I think, of most media that we're going to talk about is to entertain. And, but there's a hierarchy. Buffy is layered with theme and subtext and all of that, but it wouldn't matter if the show was not entertaining and fun to watch. And part of being entertaining is internal consistency. You know, and they're mostly very good at that. But I've seen, you know, things at times where people said, well, it's subversive and it's supposed to. I was like, but it wasn't entertaining, you know. I mean, you've got to have a hierarchy of principles when it comes to creating any piece of media. So once you've got that bedrock, then, you know, whether or not something is subversive or, you know, any of that beyond that just kind of depends on your priorities. Sorry, I'm very focused on my jug. I mean, I guess Infinity War is arguably a subversive piece of entertainment because of how it ends, right? Certainly that is not our expectation of big budget, blockbuster, what have you. But if it weren't entertaining, nobody would care. I don't know, I guess maybe I'm missing the thrust of the question. Yeah, the protagonist is also the villain. That is very subversive. Why is Star Wars so big? I guess that was a general question, not directed at me. Let's go and get Freud's thumb. I love watching your live streams. My boyfriend, who is a graphic designer, said A for effort with the milk jug. Thank you! I may have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing it really, really well. That encouragement feels so good. Yeah, this is not my forte. But fortunately, Janky is cute. Select. I really should spend more time on Photoshop. Part of the thing about going full time is I want to have a day where I just take classes on software. I need to learn After Effects better. I need to spend more time with Photoshop. It used to be, this Photoshop's where I started, actually. Now I have no idea what I'm doing. For instance, I just Googled help for feather. Of all of the things that you should know how to do in Photoshop, it's feather of friggin' selection. It's probably under select. Select, I'm not really... select and mask, modify, feather? I'm a big boy. We'll say 4. 3, 4. 4. Copy, paste. Bring back our jug. Thumb over the top. That's slicing into his hand. We can probably... What can we do with that? We'll smush it. Oh, and his thumb needs to go over the top. Ups. Yeah! Now we're looking... Said she was... Oh, it looks so stupid. I love it. There we are. So can we just smear? Men smear. Burn sponge. No. Where's my smear tool? There's my smudge tool. That's the pitter-patter of young feet. He's got a growth. He's got a growth. let's. He's got, wow. Freud has long ass thumbs. He should get that checked out by a specialist. We're leaving it. Are we arguing? I just looked up and saw arguing. Everyone, this is not why we're here. And of course the stream started up, so the cat decided to poop. You guys are welcome. Transform. When push comes to shove, we just love. Oh, Freud, your thumb's recovering. Kind of. Now you have a baby thumb. Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, this is partially why I like doing this kind of stuff. It's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's the best way to learn about anything. Come up with an idea for something you have no idea how to do, and then mess around. Wait, what layer is that on? It's not that one. What is this layer? Layer 1 copy? Oh, that is at opacity 0. Well, let's get rid of it. Jeez. There we go. This has always bothered me, too. That is one tall glass of milk. Still looks horrible. How do we make the jug look less snowy? There we go. We'll fix the top. So stupid. Okay. Oh, milk. Or maybe malk. Like right like that. We'll see. Let me try and fix the top first. I really don't know what to do with this. Maybe if we get a very small brush that is super not soft, and then turn the opacity way down, and then we can kind of make some transparency in the top. Why was it super hard? Oh, I turned the size way down. It's going well. I think it's going really well. At the end of the day, does it matter if my Freud is not that good? In 100 years, we'll all be dead. I don't understand that line. I don't care. Time for a milk mustache. And I guess Freud's just always going to have wine lips. I think it's fitting. I'm going to do a dangerous Google here and look for milk mustache. Ew. These people are gross. Ew. Kind of make my stomach upset. Clean your mustache. I wonder if we could just steal one of these milk mustaches. Milk mustache. What about Seth Rogen's milk mustache? All right. We're still on Deadpan Freud. So, I could just take like a white airbrush, but it looks all gloopy. I think that's the thing that makes it. I'm thinking about doing guides for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but my voice is not as smooth as yours. What should I do? I would spend a lot of time looking at other online video critics. There's a wide range of styles and vocal presentations and so forth. There's no reason not to do it. Dodge tool. I probably have the wrong layer selected. I mean, it doesn't really look like a milk mustache, but it looks funny. How can we add a little bit of gloop? What if we kind of bring back some of the dark whiskers a little bit? Boyfriend said where the layers are just above them, there's a box where it says normal. If you change the settings of that, it may look less snowy, i.e. screen option. Like that? Oh, you're talking about the jug? The jug-a-malug? Oh, the blending modes. I remember those. I just changed the one on his thumb. That's wrong. Jug. Yes, of course. No. What about multiply? No. It's his milk jug went to space. Screen's not bad. Screen's about the same, actually. Oh, we should put this back on, the opacity back on 100%. Ugh. And then my CPU is learning a neural net processor, a learning computer. That's interesting. That looks like a kind of transparency, like his hand is all smooshed up against the other side of the jug. And then we could lower the opacity. Nope, that makes it worse. I kind of like difference. A typical Ian editing chat. People arguing, people watching, people being helpful, and people just hanging in the background. I should probably do work since I'm at work. Just keep us on in the background, man. Get your stuff done. Perfect picture. I want to add, just clean up that edge a little bit. Transform, scale. I think we're going to add Mulk. I don't know. Can we steal a joke from The Simpsons? Borrow? I'm at work too, and I'm notably not doing. I'm not talking about you, the reverse. Well, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. Maybe I am talking about you. Milk pails. That's pretty good, Pen. I'm probably about to do taxes with you in the background. Perfect! Do I think Doyle's arc was too short? Absolutely. Doyle didn't leave the show. Stupid, sexy Freud. Doyle didn't leave the show because they ran out of ideas or good stories to tell with him. It was because of that poor actor's life. And I couldn't remember his lines. So yeah, that's a tragedy. So I see what I want is this effect where the dark is kind of popping through. Lots of ambition, very little know-how. That's the way I do it. Brush size. So like, what? Just like a hint of. Oh, that looks like I'm. Oh, there's a little more. So, something that goes with the grain. Okay, maybe not that opaque. And maybe a little harder. No, that just looks weird. I'm only going to make it worse. We're done. The milk pails are breasts. I also want to fix that text, which means I need to find the original Freud picture. I've always hated that comic effect. What do you guys think? That comic effect I put in the background? I was just going to make it easier to read, but I will defer to your vote. Hey, Mishmash. Make it easier to read, in my opinion. Easy to read, better. Yeah. Save image. We can use the comic font, and we'll try and make it a little graphic, as much as I am capable of making it a little graphic. Boyfriend said use a very thin eraser tool if you want to see his beard through the milk, but he thinks it looks great at his. I'm going with your boyfriend's vote. Undo. Okay, so I just need to kind of redo the bottom of this image. Saturation, no. Nice contrast. I think, I don't know. Wrong tool. Boy, that is odd. And I don't know why I did it this way. Escape. Hang on one sec. I see questions for me. I will be right back with you. What is the resolution of this image? Image size is 8.5 by 11. Perfect. Good job, Ian. Print isn't dead. 2550 by 3300. Also, I just realized half of this is off the... Good Lord, Ian. Downloads. There we go. We'll fix it in a second. Yeah, half the Photoshop is off screen. There we go. Now you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. No one said a thing. All right. That's what I did. What other shows do you think compare with Buffy's writing? There's nothing really quite like Buffy's writing. So it's less in terms of taste than in terms of just general quality. There's lots of great shows. Probably close enough there. Jeez. No one will notice. Up. So this should be above that layer. And then we want to select inverse delete. No one will notice. There, it looks perfect. Where's that button? Where'd that come from? Oh, it's from, yeah, okay. Ooh. Okay. It's scientific. Voila! That was easy. First try. There we go. All right. So, boy, do we need to save this as a non-flattened document. So, new Freud. And let's see if we can just get some basic old lettering that we don't mind. Wrong. Deadpan. Deadpan. Why do I not know how to spell deadpan all of a sudden? Ah, there we go. Brandon, I'm going to be going for days on this one. Deadpan Freud. So... No, you can't say, I know I promised to stop talking about it, but... I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Color comic book. Deadpan Freud. It's so boring, though. What if we had a pathway where Deadpan was slightly tilted and then Freud was slightly tilted? I'd have to learn how to do pathways again. We're not doing that. Especially for a 2-second joke. So... comic book. So do we have an episode for how long this episode breakdown will be with everything that is crammed in? It's so far right around the half-hour mark. It will likely be around 35 minutes. Let's just do something tacky. So, blending options. Bevel and emboss. That's always tacky. Inner bevel, emboss. No. Depth a billion. It has kind of a Sin City look there. So, whoa, hello. This is what we do. We just mess around until it's terrible, and then we throw it in and we move on. Deadpan Freud. Use global light. So we do want a stroke. Not that much. Is it? Oh, it's doing inside. Outside, please. You don't know. He could be a noirish Deadpan Freud. Inner glow. Oh, that's starting to look bad. Satin color overlay, gradient overlay. Yeah. Smear. Men smear. No, that's totally illegible. I kind of like it, but it needs another like white to black to white. Yeah. And then kind of move that out. Where's the other one? There it is. Yeah, that's looking interesting. Slightly illegible, but interesting. Wait, I added too many. Back. Just delete that one. Thank you. Yeah, that gives you a little more control over the gradient. And move that way over. Doesn't look any different. Okay, I'm getting bogged down. Need to stop. Well, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from being completely black to being gray. I think it's more legible than the previous one. Where are we? 95. I don't know. I have doubts. I don't, Mr. President. Opinions? Garbage? That's enough. Keep moving, Ian. Good Lord, you've spent enough time on this. Yeah. It looks great. All right. Transform, skew. Can I break this loose somehow? Undo. No. Sorry about the beeps, folks. It looks great for a 2-second joke. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. Save as. Can I mute options? Turn off notifications. All right, there, we fixed that. Yeah, I was doing pixel pushing, and that is not something you should be doing with this project. And no ability. JPEG, Milk Freud. Save. Okay. New Freud save. Because I think he shows up one more time in this. Close. Wow, that was a black hole. Okay.
Can I hold those milk pails for you?
Stupid sexy Freud on a t-shirt. Whenever we get the store going, it'll be one of the first shirts. Probably the donuts are vaginas, which is the granddaddy. Positive thoughts, Boris, please. Positive thoughts.
pails for you?
Let's really, for the future, I should move that way up just under his hand, crop it, and widen it out. I could do that now. No, I'm going to keep going.
Why, thank
Pails for you? Milk pails for you?
I think we're fine. That we're just going to leave that. Actually, we'll do the old gradient. Double click. I did it wrong because this is a different kind of file. Effects, blur, Gaussian, drop. Now we do this.
Pails for you?
Why, thank you.
So, yay, we're back to editing. Something I actually know how to do, kind of. Whee! Milk pails for you. Dissolve, dissolve. There's a cat sniffing my toes. I wouldn't do that, cat.
I hold those milk pails for you?
Why, thank you.
The milk pails are breasts. Totally worth it, right? What was that, an hour and a half? Of me floundering around?
Pails for you?
Why, thank you.
A cowboy. But we are at 10 minutes. The video is 1/3 done. Using Premiere for film studies project, and goddamn, I think Premiere, well, of course I think Premiere is easy. I have hundreds of hours in it. Thousands of hours, maybe? I don't know. But I haven't kept up on Photoshop the way I should. A cowboy, etc. See you, Audrey. And thank you for hanging out. Etc. In every dream, though, I think we're seeing people as the dreamer sees them. Tell everyone to be nice, Audrey. There we go.
I know this will be the best production of Death.
All right, let's widen. Use my favorite tool. That would be the rate stretch tool, which I apparently used wrong. Yeah, because that wasn't the rate stretch tool. People as the dreamer sees them. Oh, and we need to set this to time interpolation, optical flow, Sequence, render selection.
Hello, little lady. Can I hold those milk pails for you?
That, I don't like that dissolve. That's because I screwed it up. Put that on that side.
Pails for you?
Why, thank you.
A cowboy, etc. In every dream. This clip is slowed down. Set to frame size, sequence, render selection. A cowboy, etc. In every dream, though, I think we're seeing people as the dreamer sees them. Willow sees Riley as a dull white hat. Dull white hat.
Up later, you'd have a better part.
You feel constant resurrections make death feel pointless in a story? If they're meaningless, if it's, you know, I mean, comic books have constant resurrections, so no, I think there are contexts where it can work. A cowboy, etc. In every dream, though, I think we're seeing people as the dreamer sees them. Willow sees Riley as a dull white hat. Giles as dashingly handsome.
To find you, strip you naked, and eat you alive.
Stop that, that's very annoying. Hat. Giles as dashingly handsome. Buffy is dressed as a 20s flapper and may represent a few different characters.
Oh my god, the place is packed. Everybody's here.
Did I have not set up a render quickie, have I? Render, does that work? Render effects into that? Okay. He has a dull white hat. Giles is dashingly handsome. Buffy is dressed as a 20... Oh, forgot time interpolation. Time interpolation, optical flow, highlight. No, okay, so I don't want render into out. I just want render selection. Help, keyboard. No, that's wrong. Keyboard shortcuts, there it is. So, selection. Okay. Render selection. Highlight, and let's go control, enter. Okay. Shortcut control, enter. There we go. Okay. Dashingly handsome. Buffy is dressed as a 20s flapper and may represent a few different characters. She might be Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby. I think I got The Great Gatsby as B-roll. I'll just use the cover. Open image in new tab. Great Gatsby. have a bad habit of saving on the desktop when I'm editing. Okay, so we'll do this again. Widen that out. And we want a razor. Apply default transition, and then we want to go get a blur, a Gaussian. Bring that up there. Effect controls. There we go.
She might be Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby, a beautiful but vapid socialite whose decisions eventually lead to another character's suicide. The novel also fits in a bit with Season 4's themes of meaning and identity being thrust upon you rather than finding your own. In the case of the novel, your own.
That would be the American dream. Gatsby wasn't so much thrust upon as he was doing it to impress a lady, but I think it still works. I feel like Supernatural, the main characters die and are brought back every other season. Then when it comes time for a character to die, I'm just waiting for them to return. Well, Supernatural has kind of a comic book sort of style to it, where every season is so super duper self-contained. It's like they're doing Infinity War, now they're doing Ultron, so on and so forth. I think it kind of fits that model of storytelling, and I don't think that Supernatural aspires to be much beyond sort of popcorn entertainment most of the time, and that's not a strike against it. Popcorn entertainment is important. Star Wars Empire is technically popcorn entertainment. But because of that, I don't necessarily hold it to the same standard as I would something like Breaking Bad or, something that was more critically acclaimed, you might say.
Buffy is dressed as a 20s flapper and may represent a few different characters. She might be Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby, a beautiful but...
Okay, so then let's add some motion to that. Ooh, undo. Why will that delete existing? Oh, because, yeah, I'm using the wrong tool. So, that'll do. And then we move that over there, move that over there. Now we've keyframed the animation. Render that.
Buffy is dressed as a 20s flapper and may represent a few different characters. She might be Daisy Buchanan from...
Why did that happen? Oh, I know why. It's okay. I don't think anyone
characters. She might be Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby, a beautiful but vapid socialite whose decisions eventually lead to another character's suicide. The novel also fits in a bit with Season 4's themes of
effects, drop, shadow.
She might be Daisy...
We are going to have to fix
Daisy
that.
Buchanan from The Great Gatsby, a beautiful but vapid socialite whose decisions eventually lead to another character's suicide. The novel also fits in a bit with Season 4's themes of meaning and identity being thrust upon you rather than finding your own. Another interpretation I've read is...
Did I grab Chicago? Yeah, we can get the trailer. And here's where I'll probably have to fix my description of the musical wrong. Let's check it out. Hold on. We don't want to import this to the timeline directly. Let's move over here. The thing is with popcorn entertainment as a statement is that people can use that to claim that Buffy isn't worthy of being talked about in the same realm as Breaking Bad. People call Buffy popcorn entertainment? I'm cool with that. I don't have it, like, I have no desire to argue with anyone over their feelings about Supernatural. Someone just asked me mine, and I would not bother to argue with someone who said that over Buffy. It's like, okay, they're the ones missing out.
Buffy is dressed as a 20s flapper and may represent a few different characters. She might be Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby.
Or she could... Okay, so let's fix this audio first.
Another interpretation I've read is Buffy may be dressed as Roxy from the musical Chicago. In the story, Roxy is, again, a vapid ladder climber who murders her husband and
doesn't murder her husband. So we should just record a pickup.
a vapid ladder climber who murders her husband and ends up in...
So let's fix it in the scripts first. Yep, Jennifer, that's the one I'm on right now. I mean, things would be great in different realms, like Airplane is... Sure, there's great popcorn entertainment, Boris. You're looking at popcorn entertainment as a pejorative. I'm just saying that different media that has sort of different aspirations needs to be judged differently. And I just would not apply the same lens to Supernatural that I would, you know, something else. And the question was... what did I think of people dying and coming back on the show? Well, I think it's a very comic book. Superheroes die all the time, but we consider it within the arc of the story they're telling and then kind of expect them to come back. Every season of Supernatural is very self-contained. I know it's your favorite piece of entertainment. I'm not throwing shade. And I also didn't mention Buffy because I don't care to have the argument of which one is better or worse. Okay, so I said now another interpretation I've read is Buffy may be dressed up as Roxy from the musical Chicago. In the story, Roxy is again a vapid social climber who murders her lover and ends up in jail. That's all we need to do. So let's go to audition. Let's see if we can... It's warm enough in here. Velma Kelly, not Roxy Hart. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Velma Kelly. Interesting. She does look more like Velma. Specifically from that version of the musical, though. Is she always blonde? I'm not very familiar with Chicago. Is Roxy always blonde and Velma's always brunette? Yeah. No? Maybe? Well, in the Rob Marshall movie, yeah, but I'm not sure. Let's see which came first. Chicago. 2002. Ooh, that's actually very close. The thing is, Roxy is not... Well, let's see. $2,000. So, yeah, Restless was way before the musical. But is there something in the text that says that that determines their hairstyles? I mean, Restless came first. I'm just wondering. The point that I'm going for actually fits Roxy better than Velma, but from the standpoint of the movie, definitely she looks more like Velma. And if I put it in there, no one's going to bother to look and see Chicago the Musical, that one came out before the other. But I'll get 50 comments telling me that she looks more like Velma or Roxy. I've lost track of them now. Just checking the Wikipedia article. Roxy is always blonde? Okay. I think Whedon says Roxy in the commentary. Does he? Tell you what, I'm going to do this afterwards. We're going to move on. Your own. Another interpretation I've read is Buffy may be dressed as Roxy from the musical Chicago. In the story, Roxy is, again, a vapid ladder climber who murders her husband. And that audio is going to change anyway if it's Velma. Husband and ends up in jail. With both interpretations, there's the idea that Willow sees Buffy as a killer and somewhat empty-headed. The shooting script for the episode... There we go. We'll leave that gap for now, and I'll figure out that reference later on. Just want to keep my feet moving. Hi, Jen. Glad you have internet again. All right. Oh, that's interesting, Ryan. I like that.
Hello, little lady. Can I hold those milk?
The shooting script for the episode also describes the backdrop as lemon yellow, a painted sunrise. In other words, the dawn. And in the scene transition, we meet that icon of the show. And that works as a good musical transition. And save. I love the audio.
I've made a little space for the cheese
Slices. And then there was rain.
I've made a little space for the...
Why is that not working? Because I'm pushing the wrong button, that's why. The shooting script for the episode also describes the backdrop as lemon yellow, a painted sunrise. In other words, the dawn. And in the scene transition, we meet that icon of the show.
I've made a little space for the cheese slice.
Let's turn him up.
Show.
I've made a little space for the cheese slices.
The Cheese Man. More on that later on. I've made a little room for the cheese slices. The shooting script. Yeah. The Cheese Man. More on that later on. Tara appears again and restates the idea that Willow is hiding something.
Close that tab. I suppose I could just say Roxy. I kind of feel like the Vapids, they're the same character, as you pointed out. Still applies. I think Roxy will be the one that everyone, even if it was Velma. Wait. No, Velma. I suppose I could just say Velma instead of Roxy. Jeez, I can't keep them straight. I'm in edit mode. On that later on. Tara appears again and restates the idea that Willow is hiding something of herself. Everyone is starting to wonder about you.
Things aren't going very well.
No. This drama class is just... I think they're really not
Hey, Emily.
doing things in the proper way. And now I'm in a play and my whole family's out there. And why is there a cowboy in Death of a Salesman anyway?
You don't understand yet, do you?
Is there something following me?
Yes.
Oh, what should I do? The play's gonna start soon and I don't even know my lines.
Play's already started. That's not the point. The real you. If they find out, they'll punish you. I can't help you with that.
She won't be safe.
Everyone's starting.
Yeah, so I actually have this out of order. We'll fix that in 1 second.
To wonder.
Yeah, I do have this out of order. That's fine. We'll fix it in a minute. Why is there a cowboy here? We don't need more men
Everyone's
with their sails.
starting to.
Hiding something of herself.
Everyone's starting to wonder about you.
Something of herself.
Okay, so gonna have to cheat because the edit here is a little weird. Let's go back and get a shot at Tara. There we go. It's so obvious in that shot. Back.
You don't understand yet, do you?
Wow. I love the audio in this one's so darn good. So optical render.
The Cheese Man. More on that later on.
Okay. So this is where we need to fix the order of things, because this does actually make a big difference. Set frame size. Move that.
Leads into a narrow passage of curtain. curtains, which, I mean, it could be an homage to... It's a vagina. Whedon says so in the commentary. It's a vagina hallway. Up. Yeah, she has to go into the vagina hallway first, and then she finds Tara. Order of events are important in that one. There we go. And Willow, we could do a little quick montage of like, so is there another cheese reference besides Riley? I like that one. Or wait, no, we're talking about the hallway. Never mind. The cheese. Okay. And Willow proceeds into a narrow passage of curtains, which... actually, I do want to reference, because so many people think it's the Red Room. Ugh. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Dipper, how you doing? Hey, the order it actually played in. Out. Set to frame size. Speed. Negative 100. Cancel, just reverse feed. Speed. Reverse, okay. I mean, it could be an... homage to it's a homage to it's a vagina. Keep doing that. That's the shot. Cheeseman comment is stranded with the reshuffle double check. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I moved it over. Like, this needs... Wait, I'm not sure what you mean. I'll take a look in a minute, though. I want to get this... we're here.
Set to frame size. Music a powerful sense. It's really, the music is so good in this one, and what an experiment. And just ambience, optical. And Willow proceeds into a narrow passage of curtains, which, I mean, it could be an homage to... It's a vagina. Whedon says so in the commentary. It's a vagina hallway. The cheese... Aha! I see. I see. Thank you. I did, in fact, grab that and move it. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's right there. We'll fix that. I made a little room for the cheese slices. We'll go cheese man. More on him in a minute. Close that gap. And save. Let's see how it looks all together. Headed. The shooting script for the episode also describes the backdrop as lemon yellow, a painted sunrise. In other words, the dawn. And in the scene transition, we meet that icon of the show.
I've made a little space for the cheese slices.
The cheese man. More on that later on. And Willow proceeds into a narrow passage of curtains, which, I mean, it could be an homage to... It's a vagina. Whedon says so in the commentary. It's a vagina hallway. Tara appears again and restates the idea. There's kind of a beat on the end of that I don't like. That one right there. And then we can get into this faster too. Good night, Ava. Ava, I thought you went to bed a while ago. Hang on one sec. Okay. It is now dinner time, and that's the 2-hour mark for that stream. I'll probably be streaming in about an hour, so... save it out. I want to watch this real quick first. For the episode also describes the backdrop as lemon yellow, a painted sunrise. In other words, the dawn. And in the scene transition, we meet that icon of the show.
I've made a little space for the cheese slices.
The cheese man. More on that later on. And Willow proceeds into a narrow passage of curtains, which, I mean, it could be an homage to... It's a vagina. Whedon says so in the commentary. It's a vagina hallway. Tara appears again and restates the idea that Willow is hiding something. It's coming along. I think it looks... I think it's going to be good. I think it'll be good. So yeah, I'm happy with... And I think a lot of the editing is actually on point. I'm not just grinding, so we're good. I'll see you guys real soon. Back in an hour or so.